and it's difficult for me to do because of the modern buildings that are here now. But the translation of an inn would not be a correct translation. There was no room in the inn. There was no room in the living room of the house. Remember going in Nazareth Village into the living room. Remember how small they were. Small they were. So they give some privacy. They fix some conditions in the basement, type that we have seen, type of a cave that we've seen there. Also, if you think that Mary gave birth in a stable, all right, because you are from the West, you're from America, and what you would have in America is the stables, wooden stables, most likely next to the house, and not far from the house. All right, have you seen that in Nazareth Village? You have not. You have not. But what you have seen is, correct my English, sheep pen, right? Open area which is surrounded by fence. Open area that is surrounded by the fence. That's the sheep pen. That's what they had. But when it's stormy, rainy, or maybe even a little bit of a hail, the snow, you will take younger animals or weaker animals and take them to this basement. Right? You will put them in the basement to protect them from the weather conditions. All right, to the basement, like the basement we have seen. For a very simple reason, the wooden structures would be extremely expensive. There is no wood to build, so they did not have it. So try to think about Nazareth Village, or imagine Nazareth Village, plus the underground areas that we have seen now that can be multi-purposely used. Can be used for storage, can be used for a little bit of a protection for the younger animals. And that will give some privacy to Mary, who was giving birth.
So basically what you're saying is most likely this idea of the manger and the place, it was actually an underground kind of a...
Most likely. And friends, I hope that they will not change. That will not change your theology in no bit.
Ruins everything.
It's like learning
Again, why we have debates or some difficulties in reconstruction it? Because Jesus was in a simple environment, everyday or regular houses, and they are the ones that do not survive. The palaces might, the fortresses like Masada might, but not the ordinary house. All right, so that's why to no priest, and that's why those details were omitted in the text. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Those details were omitted in the text because they were everyday routine that everybody knew, and it was something that was not that significant. I think the key word here would be humble birth in a humble environment. But it is important that it happen in Bethlehem. Now, why it is important that it happen in Bethlehem and not in Palm Springs, Colorado? Well, because it's the town of David. Remember, David is native to Bethlehem as well. And what is important for us to stress, the royal dynasty of Jesus, royal lineage of Jesus. But also, if you remember David was born in a shepherd family. He was not being born in a palace. He became a king later. But this is not how it all started. Right, so you have this, can I use the Greek word dichotomy? I love this word. Dichotomy. King on the one side, then you had a humble king on the other, servant king on the other side. Because that's what Jesus was in his human being. He will come back as a king, as the judge, as the ruler, etc. And then every knee shall bow, every tongue confess, because you will not have, there will be no doubt. It will be so very obvious. But now, historically it happened. Now, why it happened this way, that he became a humble king? And friends, in order to identify with you and me. So he can identify with you and me, and we can identify with him. I, for example, have a difficulty identifying with the king. Because I grew up I never had a king. I don't know what a king is. And that's why when I get British groups, I always ask them, why are you so keen about the Queen? What is such a big deal about the Queen? What is it? You know, they have a national anthem, long live the Queen of God, you know, etc., etc. So I have some. It's just hard for me to understand. All right, there's some pros and cons over it, but doesn't matter. So you know, it's just this dichotomy, those two elements here: king on the one side, but the servant on the other side. Okay. Unfortunately, you know what is unfortunate? I think that this church will not stress this element of a humble servant king. Quite to the contrary, right? That's my feeling. And again, I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling. If you have a special feeling about this place, it's just if I had a chance, I wouldn't build a church over it. I would just leave it like it was. You know, that's mine. But maybe it's a historian within me, because the church and whatnot, it's not from the days of Jesus, not from that period. What you see here is a Crusaders bit. You can see we're in the Crusaders court. The Crusaders court. And the Catholic section is a even newer section, newer edition than that. Okay, sorry folks, there's a group. All right, we will be going outside, so we are going